But I got on Facebook and was doing a search and found LGBT Outdoors. Like, oh, wonder where they're at. It's like, oh, they're in Dallas and other places. And I looked at like they have chapters all over the place. Well, they didn't have that many chapters as we do now, but we've grown exponentially since I've joined.
What do you do when you come out as LGBTQ and love the outdoors? What do you do when you see the outdoor space ruled by older white cis men and desire a diverse community of outdoor lovers? Accept it, change it, create it. I am Justin Yoder, and this is LGBT Outdoors.
Hey everyone, welcome to this episode of the LGBT Outdoors podcast. I am your host, Justin Yoder, here with Patrick Thompson.
Hey everybody.
Hi.
What's going on?
A lot.
Yes.
As we said last week, though.
Yeah. There's a lot going on. So I'm going to go and kind of break some news. My husband here is this like avid animal lover. And whatever you're picturing right now, that is not even close to being accurate. Like we've been together 14 years, and once upon a time, we came home and he walks in with this little kitten that he found in the alleyway because it was cute and it needed a home. And so we kind of got it healthy and we gave it a home, found it a home. Fast forward several years later, our neighbors had some stray cats. We caught them, or kittens, baby kittens, did the same thing, nursed them, got them healthy, found them a home. Last week, he gives me a call. He's like, so there's these 3 puppies that are wandering around in the grass, digging around, looking for food, like by a very busy street. And so I go over there and help him wrangle them up. And so we brought 3 puppies home. And it's been wild. Because like 1 puppy is fun and cute. 2 puppies is even more fun and cute. 3 puppies is like freaking puppy heaven. Like they're adorable. If you're watching on YouTube, we're gonna throw some pictures up so you can see. And like collectively, we all go aww. As of recording this, we have found 1 home for one of the girls, and we have a meeting after this recording to hopefully find homes for the other 2. But it's been a lot of fun. Our dogs have been really awesome. It took a while for all of the animals to kind of like sniff each other out and figure out what's going on, but they all learned to play together, and it was really, really cute and fun experience. And I see a lot of that hopefully in my future, maybe one day starting a rescue of our own.
And this has become the Patrick's Rescue podcast.
Well, I mean, it's a big deal. Like we put out a call, and like a lot of our friends and family pitched in to help with like food and toys and blankets. And we even got their first round of shots. And so I know this is like way off topic, but if you're an animal lover, I just want to share that because that was such a cool experience. Now back to LGBT Outdoors.
It was. I'm ready for them to have their forever homes. Yeah. That's for sure. But they've been cute and fun, and at least they are off the street and have food and shelter and a warm place. So that's what's important.
If you've ever fostered a little fur kid, oh, bless your heart. Like it is so challenging because you're helping them, you're nursing them to health. And if you have a soul at all, like you bond with them, but you bond with them with the intention of kind of letting them leave the nest and go on to like a happy forever home. So like I've known that, but it doesn't quite make it easy to deal with. But we're filming video, so I'll keep myself from crying.
Sure. So one thing that you did mention that's new, that if people are listening for the first time, we do have video for our podcast now. So if you happen to be listening or watching on YouTube, you can see us now. So that's great.
This is what we look like.
This is this is what we look like.
Surprise.
Exactly. But yeah, moving on. Fun news: registration for our adventure trips, 2025 adventure trips, is up and open. We have 5 great trips that are lined up for 2025. We're doing Broken Bow fly fishing in May.
Nice.
We are doing the Grand Canyon National Park in April. Yep. Alaska in July.
Can't wait.
It's going to be incredible. We did Alaska this year as well, and just amazing, incredible trip. We're doing Glacier National Park in August, and then we have Smoky Mountain National Park in October. So if you want to sign up for all of those or one of them, I guess you could just sign up for one,
or all of them.
I mean, you can go to our website and sign up. You can get all the details. You can see an example of what the itinerary is going to look like. But these are just amazing ways that our community can get together, feel safe, inclusive, and explore the outdoors, especially some of these national parks and rugged environments, with guides that know what they're doing and will keep you safe. So we'd love to have a bunch of you join us on those. It's easy too. Like, we only require a deposit to sign up, and then you can make payments on the trip until your trip comes around, depending on when you sign up and everything. So there's like 2 or 3 different payments, so you don't even have to have all the money exactly when you sign up. So,
and I feel like the barrier of entry is pretty low. Like, if you're nervous or you don't have experience, say, rafting or even camping, LGBT Outdoors adventure trips takes care of a lot of the work. Correct me if I'm wrong, but like the meals are taken care of. Like, you don't have to bring your food and cook your food. Like, that's all part of what we do.
Yeah.
So it makes it a heck of a lot easier. You can hop in a car with your sleeping bag and your tent, and a few other essentials, and you're good to go.
Yeah. We did Big Bend National Park this year as well. And one of my favorite parts of that was, it's one of the darkest places in the US. So the best stargazing area, and it's just incredible. And we finished dinner and we made this peach cobbler in a cast iron skillet over a campfire. And then we turned off all the lights and just watched the stars while we ate this cobbler made over campfire around with amazing people. And I just love those kind of experiences. So
that sounds awesome. Also, I'm drooling just a little bit.
Clean that up. All right. Well, we're on to our guest for today.
Yes, we're excited.
How long have we known our guest?
At least 4 years, 4.5, maybe even 5. I know she came to our very first LGBT Outdoor Fest.
Yeah. So that's a while back.
Yeah.
So our guest today is also one of our LGBT Outdoors ambassadors for Waco, Texas. Yep. Her name is Robyn Thakitt. She, her. And she also has taught at LGBT Outdoor Fest. And she's just been part of the LGBT Outdoors family for quite a while now. And we were like, it is time to get you on here and chat with you and learn more about you. We also dropped this. We have a new program that is now up that I'm really excited about, called
super cool.
The 100 Mile Club, that her and another ambassador, Brad Bartman, are running. And we're going to talk more about that at the end. So stay tuned to that, but it's something that you might want to join in.
Oh, you just set up a little teaser. I'm proud of you.
Thanks. I'm starting to pick up after you. Hi, Robyn. How's it going?
Hi. So everyone can just fast forward to the end of it when we talked about the 100 Mile Club then, if everyone wants to.
Oh, no. Everybody wants to learn about you as well. So
one of the cool things, Robyn's been on our podcast a handful of times with, she plays trivia very well.
That's right.
And has also submitted a few of our campfire conversations in season 1 talking about her adventures at Mineral Wells State Park. So feel free to go back and check out those older episodes to hear more of her stories. But she's here now, and
She is.
we're excited. Actually, you were just up in our neck of the woods today. Is that right?
Yes, I was at another ambassadors, actually two ambassadors event up in Fort Worth. It was a wetland hike, and it was very, very good. We got to see birds, some buffaloes, prairie dogs, which were really, really cool, and got to meet a lot of people. So it was wonderful.
Nice.
That's awesome. Love that.
Because that's like an hour and a half drive or so from Fort Worth to Waco, give or take.
Yeah, it was about an hour and a half to get up there to it.
Yeah, so definitely not too far.
No.
Glad you got to come up here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't even the one that drove the furthest. We had one of the guys drove down from Oklahoma, so he beat me by a good amount of distance. He actually crossed the state line. So
Was that Mike?
yes.
That was surely Mike.
Yeah.
So Mike's been a part of the LGBT Outdoors family for a while too, and recently became an ambassador. So if you listen in Oklahoma, get a hold of Mike Allen, join the Facebook group up there for the state of Oklahoma, and start checking out his events. So
He's fantastic also.
yeah, love him.
Yeah.
All right. Well, first of all, let's jump into knowing more about you, Robyn. Like, start at the ground level. Who are you, and how do you identify as well?
So I'm Robyn. I identify as a left-handed asexual trans woman in a lesbian relationship.
There you go.
I'm
Love that.
left-handed. I love lefties.
So I'm married to my wife Claire, which y'all know. She's been at several of the outdoor fests. We've been married for almost 27 years.
Wow.
She's at work right now. She's a zookeeper at the zoo here. She's probably being bit by a penguin or two right now as we speak.
Penguins bite?
Oh yeah, they do.
Wow.
Her first week there, when they got the penguins, she came home with like bite marks all over her body.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
had no idea.
Some of them can be very temperamental on how you feed them. Some of them can be real dainty with their beaks when you hand out a piece of smelt to them. Some of them will just open up wide and just go for everything, including your fingers.
Chomp.
Yes. So, but it doesn't matter what she comes home looking like, what's in her hair or anything like that. She comes home with a smile every single time. So,
Aw.
so
That's
yeah,
sweet.
she loves her job. But back to me, because this is all about me.
Obviously.
Yes. I enjoy a lot of outdoor things, hiking, used to do some mountain biking, do a lot of trail running, kayaking, occasionally some rock climbing, but mainly my main focus is hiking and trail running. So I like to stay busy outside. Actually in the process of, for next year, I'm going to be writing a book on it's going to be the trail guide to the guidebook to the trails of Cameron Park here in Waco. For those that don't know,
nice.
Cameron Park is very prominent, kind of famous along certain groups. We have the second largest inner city park in the United States, and we
Really?
have second only to Central Park in New York City, if I remember right.
Wow.
But it's over
Okay.
400 acres. We have, last time I checked, like 36 miles of trails. They do mountain bike competitions out there, trail running competitions, just a whole host of things out there. There's always something going on out there. So it's a wonderful park. I love it. It's free admission. That's why I like doing so many events out there, just because I don't have to worry about having to charge anyone admittance fee or parking fees or anything like that.
Sure.
Yeah. Is that where you've also done some of your night hikes at?
Yes. We done night hikes out there. We did a spooky one back in October, and then we've done couple other night hikes that we've had a pretty good turnout for. And it can get spooky out there. All the
That's
trees
cool.
and stuff like that. And they do night rides out there on bikes. They do night runs out there also. It's from sun up to almost midnight that park has people in it.
That's cool. I always find it interesting how a lot of people, will say whenever they're in an urban environment, there's nothing to do outdoorsy, and like there is when you look at it. Yeah, we might not, especially here in Texas, where all of us might not be necessarily mountains right here in our area. But there's great things to do outside. Great kayaking, rivers to hit, trails to hit, cool parks like that. 400-acre park, like it's amazing. Everybody should be able to be getting outside if they want to.
Oh yeah, and it's also home to Cameron Park Zoo, which is where my wife works. It's one of the nation-renowned parks for being as small as it is. A lot of people go there. I don't know what their population visitor count is, but it gets up there pretty high. More so since the penguin exhibit opened up last August. So
That's very cool.
Big supporters of the zoo.
How did you find out about LGBT Outdoors and start getting involved?
That's a long time ago. I think I got on.
That's a long time ago.
It was not long after I came out, right around COVID or before COVID, I think. But I got on Facebook and was doing a search and found LGBT Outdoors. Like, oh, wonder where they're at. And it's like, oh, they're in Dallas and other places. And I looked at like they have chapters all over the place. Well, they don't have that many chapters as we do now, but we've grown exponentially since I've joined. But we didn't have anybody in Waco, and I was like, oh, they're looking for ambassadors. Like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I can do that. And I put an application in, talked to two very well-known friends of mine now on a Zoom chat, and here I am years later. And actually, I have an event coming up on New Year's Day here in Waco. So, lots.
That's right, and you've kicked off at least the last 2 years of being an ambassador. The new year with doing a hike on New Year's Day,
first time.
And I thought the first time you did that, I was like, Robyn's lost her mind. Like, who's going to be after being out probably late? Who knows, partying, hungover, all the things. Who's going to be getting up to go on hikes on New Year's Day? And I think every time you've made it a very successful event out of it.
It's something that.
I'm sorry. There's another ambassador who's doing a first hike as well. I forget where. And I was like, he's copying Robyn. No, I'm kidding.
There's two others. New Hampshire's doing one, I believe. And then, our DFW ambassadors are doing one. They're doing theirs later on in the day, which I'm perfectly fine with because, yes, it is New Year's Day. Potential for some bad weather. It's a holiday. I mean, ours is 11 o'clock in the morning, so everyone should be a little bit awake after drinking the night before. And they're doing theirs at like 5 o'clock. And the great thing about Waco being in the center of Texas is I get people that drive up from Houston. I got people that drive down from Dallas, DFW area. And if there's another event that they're going to be closer to, by all means, sign up for the one you're closer to. I really would hate for something to happen. Just if the roads are bad, I really don't want people having to drive that far. So if there's something they're 20 miles from instead of 100 miles, go to the one that's 20 miles away. It just makes a lot more sense.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And just for people listening, if you don't live in Waco, you can still go to the events in Waco. If you don't live in Dallas, Fort Worth, you can still go there to any of the events. It's all open.
We just had people travel from Texas to Northern California for events. Like we have an ambassador out there, Megan, and I forget I feel like there was a few people from Texas that went out there for one of her events. So you can find events all over the place and go make a little vacation out of it and hit up an event all across the country, even Alaska. So that's cool. Let's rewind a little bit because I love that we're talking about the ambassador program and we can dive into that a bit more. But what sparked your interest in the outdoors? And has that been something that's been a part of you since you were a child, or what did that look like?
growing up, my dad did a lot of hunting and fishing, mostly fishing, and he always dragged me along. And I liked fishing for like the first 30 minutes to an hour, and then I'd just put my fishing pole down and I'd go explore. And so just outdoors was always something for me. My great grandparents had 100 acres over in East Texas that we used to go to all the time for family holidays or just a weekend. And I'd come in, say hi to the relatives, give them hugs, get kissed on the cheek by some aunt, and then I would just disappear in the woods for 4 hours. And I loved it. It was just a chance for me to be alone and go exploring and get into something that I didn't know anything about. Like out there on that property, there was a couple acres that my great grandfather said was haunted. And he said he refused to go down there. The dogs, he went hunting with, refused to go down there. And was like, oh, you mean that spot down there where I spent 30 minutes and had a great time? So,
and where was this? Was this in Texas?
Yes, East Texas, out towards a little town called Richland. I don't know if you know where it is. It's like in between like Corsicana and Mahia to a degree.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a little town. It's one of those you blink, you miss it passing through. But that was actually the first time I went camping was with my dad. We didn't have a tent, so we just cowboy camped in the back of his pickup truck while we were doing a trout line going for catfish at this little stock tank. And then my had a brother-in-law who loved the outdoors also. He was into the backpacking and camping and stuff like that. And he would drag me along, or not really drag me along, but I would like, yes, let's go. So he's the one that actually got me hooked on Mineral Wells State Park, which is, I rave about that place so much that I don't talk about, so I don't want other people to go there. I don't want to be too busy and popular and stuff like that. But he took me hiking all the time, camping. That's when I got hooked into rock climbing one year. And from there, I had a friend in high school. We went camping all the time. After high school, I'd still come down to the Waco area, and we'd go camping all the time. Just is more way relief stress, get shot in the neck, just have a good time away from other people, and just be a chance to unwind out in the country. So it was great. And then I picked up back into it after getting settled back in down in the Waco area, mountain biking and everything like that. I have goals that I want to do. I still want to do a hike through somewhere. I'm thinking Collegiate Loop awesome. Up in Colorado is my go-to one. I want to do my first one. And I just like the outdoors. I'd much rather be outside than cooped up inside. So,
did you just say a shot in the neck though?
Yeah,
yes.
Did you catch that too?
I'm glad you didn't let that slide because I had questions.
I have questions.
Yes. So, yeah, it was probably like a year or so after high school. I came down. We were out camping out in the little area on some my friend's family's property, and I think it was springtime, and our campsite was being overrun by daddy long legs.
Oh,
okay.
And my friend had it picture a Dirty Harry pistol, but this one shot CO2 pellets.
Okay.
And he was just shooting CO2 just to shoot the spiders off. We weren't doing pellets or anything like that. Just CO2. So came time to turn in and got in our tent, and I had a flashlight. I kept shining him in the face, and it was kind of irritating him after a little bit. So he just reached over the CO2 pellet gun and went boom. And it's like, ow. Like I felt something hit my neck, but I thought it was just CO2. Well, later on, I felt like something itching me in the back, and I reached down there thinking it was a rock. No, it was a pellet.
Oh,
and it's like, okay, my neck, and came away just covered in blood. So,
oh, jeez.
Yeah, my family threatened to disown him, but it's fine. I mean, it's more of a glancing wound, but I had a lot of explaining to do why I showed up back at work and at my house with a big, a huge bandage over my neck. So
Okay, so that did not go where I thought it was going. I thought this was some kind of Texas like saying something like, yeah, some kind of weird saying.
Literally shot in the
But she literally got shot in the neck. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're still alive and with us.
Yeah,
I
so
hope
am I.
there's some lessons learned.
Yeah. Don't, and no alcohol was involved. So that was the
okay. I don't know if that's better or makes it worse.
Well, I mean, statute of limitations is passed, so it's fine now.
We can't do anything about it anyway.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, I was going to ask you about some of your favorite memories. Well, that's probably not a favorite memory. That's just a memory that makes a good story.
That's an intriguing story.
Right. I'd love to know about one of your favorite memories from an outdoor experience. Like we all have those kind of mountaintop experiences. Like, I'd love to hear about one of yours.
Oh, there's so many. So those that don't know, I'm a paramedic and I work on an ambulance. And when you're in the ambulance for 12 hours with your partner, you'll become real good friends and everything like that. They become like work husbands or work wives. And I had one partner, his name was Mason, and he liked mountain biking. And I was trying to get into mountain biking also because it's something I wanted to do and everything like that. And I talked him into going up to Mineral Wells, do some trails up there, mountain biking. And we drove all the way from Waco to Mineral Wells. It's over a 2-hour drive just to get up there. And it just rained quite a bit up there. I was surprised the trails were actually open. They were muddy. And for those that have never been to Mineral Wells, it is sand, and you just sink into it. So you're pedaling along on your bike, just in through thick mud like quicksand and everything. And I'm huffing and puffing because I had not been cycling that long. Now my partner was way ahead of me, and you're wondering where the best part of this is, why it's a favorite memory. Every 100 yards, he looked back at me. I got this evil stare of, what did you get us into? And so I had a fun time just like watching him like go, because he's like huffing and puffing, and we're going on these trails just having a good time. I'm having a blast just because I see his glare at me every now and then. And we hit a little section where there's some pavement, and it was like someone gave him caffeine. Like he was like boom, 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 up and down the pavement area. And we rode like 4 miles that day. We got back to my truck, and I was like, I'm sitting there kissing inside my truck going, I am so sorry I left you here. I will never quit on you again. I will never leave you behind. And Mason goes, I'm gonna ride up to the ranger station. I'm going, that's like 3 miles down the road on pavement, up hills, across a dam. I was like, okay, I'm gonna stay here for a while, catch my breath, get my heart rate down below 300, and just relax. So I probably gave him like a 10-minute head start. And I loaded my bike up in my truck, got secure and like that, and I left the parking lot, and I'm going. I get just past, or actually almost up to the dam, about halfway there, and he's huffing and puffing up a hill. He topped that hill, and he's like, he's off again. And I just passed him. And it was a good trip. He likes to remind me about, as he puts it, lying to him about the trail conditions. I will say there's a really good place in Weatherford, Texas for barbecue called Hard 8. Real good place. So
I think we have a couple of those in DFW, maybe.
Do you?
I don't know, but I'm always down for some good barbecue. I know that.
Weatherford. But
okay.
All right.
I mean,
I have to check it out.
Yeah. My other memorable times outdoors have been turned into campfire conversations about the naked guy. So I can't forget that one.
Yes. Find that episode and go back and listen.
Yes. It was a lot of fun.
That's a story, that's for sure.
Well, and you kept talking about like huffing and puffing, and it made me think about a scenario where I felt I had sort of accidentally been misled. This is on our road trip with Kenneth in, I think it was Rocky Mountain National Park.
I think Grand Teton, if it's a story that you're going to tell.
Yeah. And so being from Texas, like not used to elevation at all. And, we're going, and the scenery is gorgeous, like second to none, like vastly different alien planet than what we get in Texas. But we're up there, like we got those little portable oxygen masks, and we're like, like Darth Vader style, and we're just going, and like I'm relatively like fit and athletic, but holy cow, so I kept giving Kenneth like dagger stares, like what did you do to us? Well, we survived, obviously.
I also don't think that any of us knew really what we were getting into on that one, because we were just kind of doing this fly by the seat of our pants type of a trip. True. Jumping from national park to national park. So, but on the flip side of that, if that's the same hike that I'm thinking about, that's the one that we saw the moose at as well.
It was. Yeah.
Yeah. So we had this cow, moose, and baby pass. Man, it was so close. I would say maybe 20 yards in front of us at the most. Really cool.
Very surreal.
All right, let's talk about favorite moments with being an ambassador then. I know that you've done a lot of events, kayaking events, hiking, night hikes. I think you might have done climbing event maybe. But I'd love to know what one of your favorite experiences from being an ambassador would be.
My favorite one is usually when I have an event and someone comes back for a second one. Because to me, that makes me feel like I've reached out to a person and got them into something. And it also lets me know that they like me. And they came back for a second time. So usually, when I do an event, and it doesn't matter what it is, when someone comes back a second or third time, it makes me feel real special that they are giving up their day, these hours to come do something that I'm leading on. They're trusting me to take them out in the middle of nowhere and not leave them stranded and get them back to point A. And they have a time that they remember about it. And so that'd be the best time. Just
nice.
I mean,
that's huge, because, and like I say this all the time on this podcast, like going up to meet up with a bunch of random strangers to go on a hike together, like, even though everybody's queer, like it's still, that is an act of bravery, like for a lot of people. Like it's not easy to go out and put yourself out there and just meet new people. And I'm celebrating the fact that you get into that, when somebody comes back, because that means that you have created like a welcoming, safe space where they felt comfortable, and they got something out of it, and they're coming back because they want more. So that means that whatever you're doing, like you're crushing it. So keep it up.
Yeah. And that's such a huge part of what we do anyways, is it's all about the community and building that community. So I love that. And I'm hoping that the Waco chapter just continues to grow. And I know it's a smaller-ish kind of town, but I think that there's such great opportunities there, and obviously some great parks and rivers to hit while you're out there. Share with everybody listening, let's talk about the ambassador program. What does it mean to be an ambassador, and what does that look like?
Being an ambassador is being a leader and being the first person to step forward when called to do something that for a lot of people can be scary. There's still a lot of places where being queer is hard, difficult, borderline illegal. And so to actually go out in public and risk exposure is a huge deal. So as ambassador, we're the ones that go first and not really put our necks on the line, but just say, here I am, come join me. And
I just got goosebumps.
Okay.
No, like for real, like that's a bold statement, and that is a bold action, especially like kind of in our current world. Like it's, you know, it's not a simplistic kind of thing. Like it's a very bold, deliberate choice that you and all of our ambassadors make to go out and, you know, be that leader and be that, you know, frontline human for others, like, you know, literally lighting the way.
It's the representation that we talk about so much.
Yeah.
Especially like right now with everything that's going on with trans rights. And that's something that I'm really passionate about too, is just really letting everybody know that when it comes to the LGBTQ community, LGBT Outdoors is here for everyone. And that's why we put the plus in our logo, LGBT Outdoors plus, or LGBT plus Outdoors in our logo, because we want everybody to know that it doesn't matter how you identify, you've got a safe spot here with us. And we hear stories all the time. We know we just had Bailey Buckles on not too long ago, like 2 episodes ago, I believe. Mm-hmm. And she talked about the challenges that she faced as a trans person. And I just want everybody to feel welcome and feel that community that we're building here. And I think, Robyn, what you're talking about is exactly what we need, and that representation and being brave to be able to be authentically who yourself out on the trails or out in a kayak or out fishing, and not hiding back, letting people know we aren't going to be pushed into the shadows. We are who we are. We're going to stand up for our rights and
for the rights of others,
and push forward with making an inclusive outdoor space for people.
Yeah. And if you want to know how scary it is for some people, look at the people who sign up. There's still people who do not want their photograph taken just because they don't want anyone to know that they're queer. And I would love to have the day where we don't have to worry about that anymore. But it's right now, there's still people that are scared to come out, and they are safe in our area. We're not going to out them or anything like that. We can be very low key on our hikes or our events. And we have the LGBT Outdoors flag that we take pictures with. But if I have a lot of people that are saying they don't want their pictures taken, I'm not going to put that flag out just because I don't want to out them. Because we are in public place out in the woods, and you never know who is out. Yes, particularly in Texas. Yes, so you never know who is watching. So we can be as stealth as we need to for them, as long as they show up, and we can be as open as they want to be. But we want to get people to show up. We want them to enjoy being outdoors. We want to share what I go through when I go hiking in the woods with others. I want them to see what I see, what I feel when I'm out there, and just enjoying and connecting with nature. So it's important to me to be able to, as an ambassador, provide a safe spot for those people so they can enjoy it. And I say my favorite time as an ambassador is when a person shows up for my second event. It's also special for me when I get a word from them a couple days after an event, and it's like, hey, I bought myself a kayak because of you.
Yes.
Like, that's some serious money. And because there's a kayak, there's a paddle, there's life preserver, there's a whole bunch of stuff that you get into just for kayaking. So and that happened after the last Texas Outdoor Fest. I had a couple people contact me later on. It's like, yeah, I bought a kayak. And it's like, cool. I'm glad that you have a place to go and something to do outdoors. And it's bigger than where we were at there at Outdoor Fest. And so,
Inside joke there.
yes. So for those that were not there, Outdoor Fest, the lake level was very, very low, so we could not use the lake. So we had this little pond, and it's so small. I'm staying in the middle on my kayak, and everyone are doing laps around me in circles. And so it was a good beginner course, just so for those that are afraid of water, they may not want to get that far from shore. So it worked out perfect. I got people addicted to kayaking, and
that's the whole point of LGBT Outdoor Fest, is to allow people to try new activities without having to make any real big investments in gear or whatever, just to see if it piques your interest. But the fact that somebody took your workshop and then they're like, oh, hell yes, this is for me, I'm going to go buy a kayak. Like, that's proof positive that, your work and like collectively our work as an organization is doing something. And like, I think that's amazing. That's really exciting.
Yeah. And of course, I've got to say it now because you both mentioned it, that LGBT Outdoor Fest 2025 is going to be in the Catskill Mountains in New York, September 11th through the 14th.
Correct.
So registration is open for that as well too. Early bird right now, so it's the best time to get signed up for that as well. But yeah, Robyn's been an instructor at Outdoor Fest. How many Outdoor Fests have you been to? You went to Colorado the first time we had it in Colorado as well, I think, right?
And I think I've been to like 3 Texas ones or 4.
That
I can't
I think
remember.
there's been a total of 5 altogether.
Okay.
Right.
So I think I missed the very first one. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I missed the very first one, but I've been regular after that. And
I could have sworn y'all came up for like the Saturday afternoon on the first one.
No, I think the first one I missed just got anxiety got the best of me.
Gotcha.
And I was still new with everybody and everything like that. So, but yeah, after that, I've been a regular at them, except for this last Colorado one. And
Yeah.
my wife Claire has been out there also. She's one that benefits, I think, a lot from Outdoor Fest, because to see her come out of her shell at Outdoor Fest and be so outgoing. I still remember her first one during your icebreaker when we were doing the pinata with the unicorn.
Yeah.
And she volunteered to go first, and she launched the unicorn head halfway across the yard and almost made it into the cornhole thing. So
3 points.
yes,
I remember that. Good times.
yeah, she loves, and she was very heartbroken we didn't get to go to the one in Colorado this year. So
yeah, I am too. I wish that you guys could have been there for sure, because it was, each year we do it, it just goes to another level. But this was the first year too that we bumped it up from 3 days to 4 days, which is going to be 4 days going forward now. And also the first time that we actually had a high ropes course to participate in too, which is just took everything to another level.
Yeah, she would not have done that. She's scared of heights, but I would have been up there in like 2 seconds flat.
Yeah.
Very cool. If somebody is interested in being an ambassador, but maybe doesn't know where to begin, or kind of nervous and wishing that there was a chapter in their area, what advice would you give them?
I'd say reach out to any of the other ambassadors, and any of us would be more than happy to be mentors towards the newer generation of ambassadors. We can let them know what's worked for us, what has not worked for us, and if possible, we will come out to your first event and help you with anything you need. I'd be planning to just doing whatever is needed. And great thing about being ambassadors, you're not alone. There's now over 50 ambassadors now. So we are all over the place. And we now have a Facebook page for the ambassadors. So you can get on there and say, hey, I'm nervous about my first event. What can I do about it? Or what are some suggestions or whatever? Every single ambassador that has done events, we've gone through trial and error. When I did my first event, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I just hope everyone has a good time. And I found things that work and a lot of things that don't work. And I'm more than happy to pass it on to anybody who asks. But ambassador is a chance to, like I said, be a leader and walk across that line saying, here I am, let's go. And
love it.
let's just go out there and have a good time. Even if it rains, even if it's too cold, if it's whatever, we're gonna have a good time. And we'll think of something. I mean, don't be afraid to think outside the box. I did an event earlier this year when it was so hot that the event was at a here in Waco. We have this large building that has a whole bunch of little restaurant food truck things inside of it, and it's in the AC. It's in air conditioning. Texas summer. Yes, let's go sit in the AC.
Cool.
And
Yeah.
there's about like 20 different restaurants inside this place, so there's an option for everybody. And the event was just so we can just socialize and talk about anything outdoors in a nice environment over food. It was like talking over food.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so it's coming up with stuff that you think will get people to come out. And sometimes you'd be surprised where the event that you think is not going to be very popular is the most popular. And it's just
interesting.
Yeah, it's strange. There's no rhyme or reason to it usually. So, and it's something. Going to the event this morning up there in the wetlands they had over 30 people sign up. We probably had about 20 people I think show up. I don't know the exact count because I was having fun just not being an ambassador for once. And, so it was a neat perspective being on the attendee side for once. So it was great. And it was a good way for the ambassadors to get together. There's 4 of us there, and it was good to just talk shop for a little bit. And hopefully in the future we can actually do ambassador meetups like that, where it's just the ambassadors doing a little workshop.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
Of some sort. So
I'd love to see that happen.
Yeah,
I'd love to see an ambassador trip.
Yeah,
at some point too. But we'll chat about that. What's that?
Courtesy of Justin.
Yeah.
Dear sponsors.
Sponsors. Yeah.
Speaking of, hang on. Are we moving ahead?
Nope. Go ahead.
Okay. I said, speaking of sponsors, we do need to take a quick little break to show some love to the people who are loving on us with their sponsorships. So we'll be back here in a minute.
At LGBT Outdoors, we're thrilled to have Tackitt Cold Snacks back in our mission. Tackitt supports our passion for making the outdoors a welcoming space for everyone, and they've been supporting nonprofits across our country since 2012. After an epic day on the trail, nothing beats a cold, snackable Tackitt beer. So get outside, enjoy the adventure, do some good, and raise up Tackitt to inclusivity and the great outdoors. Locust Yoga creates mats and towels designed to support your yoga practice and build meaningful connections. Their designs foster connection, bringing people together to create spaces and shared growth and understanding. They also focus on intentional community, providing tools to support your journey and mark meaningful moments with purpose. Find them on Instagram at locustyoga.shop or on the web at locustyoga.shop. And here's a deal just for you. For a limited time, buy any mat and get a free towel with code OUTDOORS. Locust Yoga, because yoga is more than a practice, it's a connection.
And we're back with the LGBT Outdoors podcast. Thanks for sticking around. Now we're getting to the part that Justin so eloquently teased earlier at the top of the show. We've got a new project. It is called the 100 Mile Club, and we're really, really excited about this at LGBT Outdoors. We just launched at the start of the new year, and we're going to tell you all about it.
And so he looks at me.
Yes.
All right. Well, I will just do the same thing, and then I'm going to look at Robyn. But no, basically the 100 Mile Club is a new club within LGBT Outdoors. There's a small fee that you pay to sign up for it that helps also fund LGBT Outdoors, so that's an added bonus. But it's a great way for our community to connect through challenges and getting outside. And so when you sign up, you get a free t-shirt. And then for every 100 miles that you complete, you basically get a coin. And it's a great way to be able to track what we're doing. But Robyn and one of our other ambassadors, Brad Bartman up in Michigan, are going to be running this club. So Robyn, I would love to hear from you about kind of the 100 Mile Club and yeah, how you see it going and kind of maybe your hopes with it.
The 100 Mile Club is going to be an opportunity to see what other people are doing through the app called Strava. We have a club that's already on Strava. We already have 40 members on there. And this gets you a chance to put a little bit of competition into your activities. And so you can see what the other person that you're competing against is doing and try to do a little bit better than them. And we're going to have open ground on how you want to do your activities, on which ones. If you want to do cycling, kayaking, running, hiking, it's going to be open to a lot of those. And it's a competition, but not a competition. It's going to be competition with others if you want to beat them. If not, it's fine. You can go at your own pace, and you can just set your goal for however long you want to and go for it. And that way you don't have to worry, you don't feel rushed, because I mean, there's going to be people all across the United States and Canada. And if you're under the weather, for like if you're up north and you got feet of snow and you can't go out and do any hiking or anything like that, that's going to give an unfair advantage to people down south that are in 80-degree winters, like Texas. And so there's going to be open for the time span, and so you got time to do the first 100 miles, and it's not something that has to be done in the first week. And well, we also want to put it to where if you do get something out of this, even if you don't complete, say you get injured at later on and you can't complete it, you still have time to do as much as you can. It's not.
Is there a time limit that they have to complete the first 100 miles before they go on, or it's just an open time span?
We like it for like a year, but I mean, we're going to understand people can't get it done in a year. I know during COVID, there was a lot of virtual races that people were doing, and it was just basically get, I think Claire and I were on one that was 500 miles, and you could adjust the time on it, and we got our medals for it. She got hers a lot faster because she walks all the time at the zoo. She can put in 4 or 5 miles a day at the zoo, so she got there within like no time, and it took me quite a bit longer. Yeah. And we got a nice medal out of it, and she loves it. And then, but what we want to do is we don't want to make it where someone feels like they have to go out and do this immediately. And the last thing we want to do is someone to get injured or lost in the woods or something like that trying to get their miles in. And we also don't want people to resort to cheating, like driving around in a car. So I mean, there's going to be a lot of
it kind of defeats the purpose.
Yeah. I mean, we wanted to open up and make people get outdoors and give them a reason to without putting too much stress on them. And that's just what we're going with this, and a lot of it's still gonna be fluid on everything. So I think it's gonna be a good
Yeah.
program once we get up and going and get it settled down and get the kinks worked out of it. So I'm
Yeah,
looking
and
forward to
I
it.
feel like if you're tracking your adventures, say, from January to December, I bet you'd be really surprised how much ground you would cover. Um, I think even without thinking about it, you'd easily cover 100 miles. Speaking of 100 miles, a little detour. Sorry, this is how my brain works. Uh, Back during the pandemic, we did LGBT Outdoors live, and he's been on our podcast. Jeffrey Binney is an ultra marathon runner. Ultra marathons, in his scenario, are literally 100-mile like foot race over the course. I forget how long it is. But he's got some stories. He's actually got like a documentary about his experience. You don't have to do that. What was my point? Uh, and that's awesome for him and for a lot of people. But if you're doing, like 5 miles over the course of a week, that's I can't math right now. That's a lot of miles. Um,
I mean,
and so
there's 52 weeks in a year. If you do 2 miles a week, that'll get you
yeah,
104 miles easily. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of people that walk 2 miles a day at work, and
and
I
you
mean,
don't
just
even realize it. So you start tracking it, and suddenly you put a lot of miles behind you.
Yeah.
And I think that's pretty darn cool. Not only for health purposes, mental health purposes, but just being outside, um, and unplugging, and whether it's kayaking. Like kayaking sounds like a really great way to get some miles, uh, like very low impact. Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, and just seeing what other people are doing too, and friendly competition. But realistically, like it's you versus you.
yeah,
Like I
Sure.
think
Yeah.
you get to challenge yourself, and go after whatever goals that you want to set. Um, yeah,
So basically, the way that it works then would be anybody that's interested, go to the website, go to the 100 Mile Club. You can sign up there, and then Robin or Brad would be in touch with you to be able to help you and encourage you, make sure you have everything you need. Once you register, you would get a T-shirt, which is cool. And then when you complete your first 100 miles, you would get your first 100-mile coin.
Mhm.
But you also need to sign up for Strava. And whether you decide to join the club or not, you can still sign up for Strava. And which Strava, if you are listening, you we need a chat. But you can join the LGBT Outdoors group on Strava either way and be able to connect with people on there. And it's fun too because like they do their tracking for I think LGBT Outdoors and Pride Month. Robin, you
Mhm.
can tell me more about the progressive flag colors and stuff. So I like that. That's
Yeah.
fun too. So either way, you could join Strava, be a part of it. But we will use Strava to track for the 100 Mile Club. And then once you complete it, however long it takes, if it takes you 3 weeks and you're done with 100 miles, cool. You can go on to 200, 300, 400. If it takes you a year or longer, that's fine as well. And then you can move on to your next one. But yeah, we're excited about it. I think this is going to be a fun way to have a little bit of friendly competition. And we're also going to be listing people on the different 100 miles that they complete on the website too, on the club page. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
yeah.
Sign up.
And for those that don't know about Strava, it is a free app. There's a pay subscription also, but we're gonna be working everything off the free version. And you don't need any special equipment. You can run Strava off your phone, which is great, and you do it off of there. If you want to do it off of Garmin watches, a lot of those you can do Strava on those. But all you need is your phone. You don't need any special equipment other than what you'd be doing anyway if you're out doing these miles. So nothing really needed that's out of the ordinary that's stopping someone from doing it. And yeah, I think it'd be cool, and it's going to be great for Strava to help us track everything and everything. So it's going to come down to what a person wants to do, and they can do it, make it easy. They can, like I said, they can go do a 100-mile run one weekend. Yay, you! I could run that far. Just however you want to do it. Just get your miles in. I mean, if you're already out there doing it, might as well get something out of it,
and
other than high pulse rate.
And we're still early January. It's not too late to add on a New Year's resolution. 100 miles over the course of a year or two. I mean, that sounds like a pretty sweet goal, a challenging goal for sure. But yeah, something to think about.
Definitely. Yeah. I love that.
I think my stats for this year, I'm already at over 300 miles. So it's easy to get to 100 miles. So I'm very cool. I know my friend Kimber is probably up like 500 miles, but she's up in Denver now, so she left me. And so
we miss Kimber.
Yeah, so do I. She keeps messaging me all the time, and so I told her I'd give her a shout out during this podcast to embarrass her some. So,
well, Kimber, you need to get involved with our Colorado chapter, because that's one of our stronger chapters. So that's cool. She's
lots of people up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any final thoughts, questions, Patrick, for Robyn?
I don't. The disadvantage of this particular episode is that I had the luxury of knowing Robyn for a few years, and so it's not like we're meeting for the first time and I'm like grilling her for information and like so I may be doing our listeners a disservice, but it's always a delight to chat with you. We are super grateful for all the kick-ass things that you're doing down in Waco, and for helping expand the community and introducing more people to the outdoors. It's just incredible. So thank you.
Thank you for putting this. Thank you for putting this organization together. I mean, I don't know where I would be in the community if I didn't know about this group, and it's been something that's helped me a lot through some dark times, and it's helped other people that I know of. So I'm grateful to you two for starting it up. And yeah, it's hard putting words on what y'all two mean to me for doing this and trusting me to lead people into the wilderness and bring back the same number of people I took out in the first place. And so thank you. And I'm a Sagittarius, and but yeah, I'm glad to be on here. And you'd be surprised how many podcasts like I'll be listening to y'all ask questions like, okay, now if I was on the podcast, how would I answer that question? So
and now you got to find out.
Yes. I mean, I listen to these podcasts all the time because my work commute is an hour and 15 minutes one way. So I get a lot of these podcasts listened to on the way into work or way home, depending on when it drops. So, yay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Love that. Where can people learn more about you and follow you?
So, my main one is Facebook through the LGBT Outdoors Texas chapter page. I'm also on Instagram as Robyn Roams Outdoors. That's my main Instagram. I do have a couple other ones but the Robyn Roams Outdoors is my main active one. So
okay,
that's it. I try to stay off social media as much as I can.
Yeah, right.
Smart. And if you're in Texas and you want to join the Texas Facebook group, you can just search LGBT Outdoors Texas, or you can go fb.com/groups/LGBT Outdoors TX.
Bingo.
And that will get you into the group as well and can connect with Robyn and a lot of other cool people there.
Yeah.
So, Robyn, I would just want to thank you for taking time out of your day and joining us and sharing your passion for the outdoors, for being an ambassador, and for helping head up this new 100-mile club. And you're a rock star, and we're glad you're a part of the LGBT Outdoors family.
Well, thank you very much. I've had a lot of time. I've had a lot of fun being on here. So, I'll have to do it again. I'll see if I can come up with some more campfire conversations.
Yeah,
to read
awesome.
about.
That would be awesome. All right, everyone. Thank you for tuning in this week for our LGBT Outdoors podcast. We hope that you enjoyed it. Remember to go check out the 100 Mile Club on our website, as well as the Trailblazer Society. We've got so much cool stuff going on.
Yep.
And as always, too, you can join up for our newsletter on our website. All that can be found out at lgbtoutdoors.com. And until next time, get out there. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of the LGBT Outdoors podcast. You can catch up on past episodes on your favorite podcast streaming platforms. Stay connected with us on Instagram at LGBT Outdoors and join our vibrant community at facebook.com/groups/LGBT Outdoors. Support our mission to promote LGBTQ+ inclusion in the outdoors by becoming a member of the Trailblazer Society at lgbtoutdoors.com/trailblazers. For more information about LGBT Outdoors, LGBT Outdoor Fest, local chapters, adventure trips, or to sign up for our newsletter, head to lgbtoutdoors.com. If you're enjoying the episode, don't forget to rate, review, and follow us. Your support makes a difference.